So far we have looked at a very simple example, so where the entire collection was there and there's nothing else, there were no external dependencies. But you're probably already using environments in your collections, for example, for addresses and stuff like that. And it's important to understand how you can get them to work as well. So let's see, in this case, we have no environments here, but let's quickly create one. Let's call it production. And I'm gonna see here URL, and this will be http://bin.org. So this is the address that I've been using for this particular request. And I'm gonna click here, add. This will be added here. And just replace the address with this environment variable. I will select the proper environment. And now the request, of course, is working. I don't have to do it for the other requests. But now you can imagine what will happen if I go back and execute this request once again. Now everything is failing because it's not able to interpret the environment variable that I have given here. So URL here is not defined because Newman at this point has no idea of this environment. Then the variable URL is undefined, is not found, is not be able to replace it, and then Newman tries to get this address, which of course doesn't exist, and everything fails. So we need to find a way to tell Newman about our environment. So for that, we're gonna have a look again at the Newman documentation on how to do that. And you will see here that there are in this section 2 command line options. There are some options that you can give when running. So the command so far has been Newman run, and then you give the collection as a link or as a file. Then you have the possibility of specifying options. And one of the first options that we're interested in specifying is this environment option. Because now we have an environment and we want to reference it. So what we are going to type is -- environment and then specify the environment. So again, Newman run, we have our address. I'm gonna make a space. Make this a bit smaller. And the problem that we have now is that we don't have an environment. And for that we have two options, just as with a collection. We can export the environment, or you can grab it by using the API. And now because it's much faster, I'm just gonna take an environment that will be locally exported. But of course you should be consistent. So if you're using exported collections, you should export your environments as well. If you're using the Postman API, then you should use the Postman API to get the environments as well. But I'm gonna mix things a bit here just to show you that it works and how it works. So let's go back to Postman in this case. I'm gonna view the environments, click on edit. And right here, there's the possibility of downloading the environment, and I will put it right below the collection. So now if I look inside the file system, I will see here that I have an environment called production Postman environment. So -- environment space, and then between double quotes, just to be sure, paste here the path to the environment and then hit enter. And now everything works perfectly because Newman is finding the collection, is finding the environment, so it has all the information it needs to properly run the collection. And this is how it works. And these are all your options on how you can run collections. Now, going back to the command line options, my advice is to have a look on all the options that you see here, because some of them are important things that might help you when you're using Newman. So make sure you're familiar with everything that's being said here. But what I've shown you in this video should cover like most of the use cases that you will encounter, but be familiar with them.